Graham Love from Love Real Estate. Graham, a very historic property. Can you tell us about it?
Ron, it's not very often you see properties like this come on the market. For 40 years I've worked in the area, and I've driven past this house and always wondered what was inside. It's been in their family 150 years, over that, and it's never been open to the public. Just a wonderful story, and more particularly, just to come here and see the old stone buildings, the stables, where they milked the cows in the milking shed. It's all intact here, the cobblestone pathway, some of the drystone walls, and the house pretty much resembles exactly what it was 150 years ago. In 40 years in real estate, I've sold one of the other 6 houses here in Westgarthtown. This is the most intact, and with so much more land, nearly 2 acres of land. It's a really, really interesting home, and certainly it's a one-off. It's just a one-off.
A lot of the major things are just so beautifully preserved.
And I think that's the feature of the home. It's like stepping back in time here. You walk into this property and you pretty well feel like you're back in the 1850s, whether you like it or you don't, but that's the reality. And you walk out there and you think, gosh, look at these holes in the walls, that's where the horses would stand. And it's just, if you're interested in that, it is a wonderful example, and so well preserved, as you say, and that's its, I guess that's its draw card.
And I gather part of the other draw card as well is that it's a flexible property in relationship to planning.
Well, the family originally were on, I think, 97 acres, so when the father sold off that farm, he retained 2 acres here, which was a pretty good thing to do. The family have looked at maximising their value out of the property and have a planning permit to subdivide 7 lots here on the western side of the property. I guess that gives an opportunity for a buyer to say, well, that's how we can pay for it. We could do that subdivision and therefore reduce our outlay, or you could retain the whole lot and not do that or carry out that planning permit. It's really, I think it gives options, and that's what is always good in the marketplace. I think that helps people look at the home in different ways. And
even the sheds out the back, some of these heritage buildings and that could be useful in all sorts of programs, such as even an artist studio or whatever.
Artists, I'm doing a little bit of yoga. I think it'd be a great yoga meditation retreat. But I had a chap come through who was looking at it from a religious, they got a religious group, and they could have, build things here or do things and use the existing buildings for that. So another person said, look, we think it'd be great for wedding receptions. Certainly, there's so much history here, and those outbuildings, they'll need a bit of work, but there's still the shingles in the roof covered by iron. There's still all the things there that you look for, and you're only 19k from the city. I mean, 2 acres on the banks of the Edgars Creek, 19 kilometres from the city, 20 minutes from Tullamarine Airport. It's pretty amazing.
Graham, just talking about Edgars Creek, the fact that it runs right down the side of the property and the house faces onto it, where the garden was, it provides whoever buys this with a wonderful opportunity for a very private area.
When you sit here on the front porch, it's like you're in the country, it's not like you're in suburbia. And if you look at the photo in the kitchen of the house taken in 1880, it's the house, when you stand down there on the creek, it's still there. You can still see it. You can still link to that 1880s photo. I think that's just a wonderful thing to see, a wonderful thing to own. Real estate's always about position, but this is a great property to own. And I think being in their family for such a long time, you get the advantage of seeing the history and the history of this property. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful property.
Graham, thanks very much.
Thanks, Robert.